Shemai, hello. My name is Benjamin and I'm doing a series for you about Stefan cel Mare, Stephen the Great, this guy. There will be a short series for this fellow, Stefan the Great, who became voivode over Moldavia. That's prince, basically. And he reigned for an incredible 47 years. And so I think our hero needs a bit of a backdrop, an origin story. And that's this video. What happened before he became the ruler of Moldavia? Let's go. To understand how Stefan the Great took the throne and reigned for an incredible 47 years, we have to understand the dynasty that he came from. Stefan was born into the ruling house of Musat, named so for a woman, Margareta Musata, who married Kostea, the son of Bogdan I, who founded the Principality of Moldavia as an independent state in the 1360s. See my video on him if you're interested. Kostea and Margareta's two sons, Petru II, who converted to Catholicism and strengthened relations with Poland, and then Roman I, who remained Orthodox and captured the fortress of Citea Alba on the Black Sea, both ruled one after the other. But even though Petru II's reign was longer, 16 years, to Roman's less than 3 years, it was Roman I whose descendants would become the rulers of the throne of Moldavia. Petru II had a number of children. Stefan I, not our Stefan, who took the throne after him in 1394, defeated the Hungarian king Sigismund of Luxembourg at the Battle of Ghindoani in February 1395, and was the first battle in which Moldavia was recognized as an equal among nations, quite a significant feat for a principality to do. But he fell ill and his brother, who may have been crippled, became the voivode. That's the prince, basically. Those were rough times, and Juga did not last long. He didn't last much longer than half a year, when Mircea the Elder of Wallachia removed him and put his brother on the throne, Alexander the Good. I guess he couldn't be named Alexander the Great, that one was taken. As his name suggests, his reign was good. He reigned for a long time, from 1400 to 1432. In those days, that's a feat. And kept good relations with Wallachia in the south and Poland in the north to fight Hungary. But enemies were shifting slowly. Over time, Alexander the Good reformed the state to organize his government, foster trade, and restructure the church. As an ally to him, Alexander the Good was also the first Moldavian ruler to fight the Turkish Ottoman Empire, against whom he successfully defended Citea Alba and Kilia on the Black Sea. It was a foreboding of what was to come, confrontations with this new religion, Islam, and this new empire, the Ottomans. When Poland did not help him fight the Turks, as agreed in part of his vassal treaty to the Polish king, this guy. This is his name.
Władysław Jagiełło.
Alexander the Good attacked Poland during a civil war, ending in peace, but due to an illness contracted when fighting in Poland, he died. Now, Alexander the Good had had 3 wives, at least, and several heirs who did not always recognize the other or their legitimacy. This would be a problem. Through his first wife, Margarita Anna, there may be 2 women here, he had a son, Roman, and Vasilisa. Through another woman, Nyatsha, he had a son, Ilyash, and daughters. Through Marina, he had 3 different sons, at least. Alexander, Bogdan, and Petru III. Through Stanka, he had Stefan II, not our Stefan. He also had at least 2 bastard sons, Petru III, or Petru Aron, and Bogdan II. So when Alexander the Good died in 1432, Ilyash came to power, and immediately had to fight his brother, Stefan II. Keep in mind that Stefan the Great is not born yet. Stefan II deposes his half-brother and rules alone until 1434. He uses the burghers, the boyars, the gentry nobility to do this. But Ilyas survives and flees to Poland, from where King, this guy,
Władysław Jagiełło,
uses him to put him back on the throne as a co-ruler with Stefan II. However, Stefan II revolted against Poland, and he didn't want any competitors, so he gouged out Ilyas's eyes, so he was unable to rule by law, and exiled him to Poland. I mean, at least he didn't kill him, I suppose. He ruled alone briefly in 1443 and 1444, before ruling together with another brother, Petru, who is not the same as Petru III, or Petru Aron. Okay? Keep in mind that Stefan the Great is born into quite a violent world. Alexander the Good has passed, and in the few years after, probably 1434, somewhere around there, Stefan is born. But Stefan II and Bogdan are fighting each other for the throne of Moldavia. Meanwhile, do you remember Ilyas, who had his eyes gouged out? Well, he had a son, Roman II, who came into Moldavia and avenged his father. A vengeance. Took out Stefan II, killing him, taking the throne in 1447 and ruling for 1 year. Just 1 year. Oh, cruel times, eh? However, things got bloody again, and Petru III, not Petru III Aron, hired a Hungarian aristocrat, Kubar Voda. Roman II was soon dead unexpectedly, but since Petru III died unexpectedly as well, the Hungarian aristocrat remained on the throne. Alexandru, another son of Ilyas, seized the throne in February of 1449. However, Bogdan, Stefan the Great's father, burst into Moldavia with an army of Hungarian nobles, forcing Alexandru to flee to Petru Aron III in his lands in the south. This was now late 1449, and Stefan the Great's father was ruler over Moldavia. Stefan the Great's father Bogdan was not in an easy position. Hungary, whose regent governor over Transylvania, Ioan de Hunedoara, or John Hunyadi, had helped Bogdan seize the throne. He did not want a war with Poland, to whom Bogdan's rivals, Alexandru and Petru Aron, had fled. His attempts to negotiate with the Polish king, Casimir IV, were not successful to get him to surrender Alexandru to him. Bogdan was legally a vassal of Poland. This angered King Casimir, and the following year, in 1450, the King of Poland consented to restoring Alexandru to the throne of Moldavia, not good for Bogdan. In response, Bogdan renewed his alliance with Hungary before the Polish attack on Moldavia. Poland wanted control of ports along the Black Sea and sought to slowly annex Moldavia as a province into Poland. Remember, Poland at this time was an enormous country in a union with Lithuania. King Casimir invaded, and Bogdan II took his young son Stefan into battle with him. The two armies met at a field called Krasna, not very far from Vaslui, where Stefan would win a great victory 25 years later. He learned from his father in this battle about how to fight cavalry with Scyths, cutting them down with men who were not on horseback. Very useful for fighting the Ottomans, by the way. The Polish army was crushed. This prevented Moldavia from being conquered, and may have been Stefan's first experience in battle. After this battle, Stefan was made co-regent and heir to his father's principality. But Bogdan had not rid himself of his enemies. The next year, in 1451, Bogdan, along with Stefan, went to a wedding of one of his boyars, his noblemen, who then betrayed him and colluded with Petru Aron. who brought a small army to the wedding. Sounds like a great film, doesn't it? Stefan's father was captured and beheaded at once, but Stefan fled into a nearby forest, with legends saying he had hid in an oak tree to hide from Patru, who wanted to kill him. Stefan had, after all, been formally vested as heir to the throne, and therefore he had an additional legal claim to rule in the law of the day. And now it is time to bring in another character, Vlad Chepesh. But you might know him as Dracula, or Vlad the Impaler. Vlad was Vlad III, Dracula, son of his father Vlad. In 1448, Vladislav II, his cousin, was put on the throne by John Hunyadi, regent governor of Transylvania under the Kingdom of Hungary, who invaded Wallachia to do so. He fled to the Ottoman Empire and then Moldavia, where Bogdan II ruled. Possibly his maternal uncle, we're not sure. Vlad and young Stefan fled together to Transylvania for the protection of John Hunyadi. Initially, Hunyadi refused Vlad, but it appears shortly after, in the early 1450s, Vlad and Stefan helped Hungary bring order to its border regions in Transylvania in the southeast, around Brașov. Just to the east beyond them, over the Carpathian Mountains, Petru and Alexandru were locked in a bitter civil war that would rage for 6 years and destroy Moldavia until Stefan came back. But for now, Stefan did not have the military support to avenge his father's murder. However, John Hunyadi had commanded the European resistance against the Islamic Ottoman Empire in 1448. In this battle, a coalition of Christian kings were defeated by Muslim invaders, leading to the eventual fall of Constantinople in 1453, and Vladislav had not helped the European Christians. From this point, the relationship between Hungary and Vladislav deteriorated and unraveled. So Hunyadi took back Făgăraș and Emlős in 1452, lordships in the north along the mountains, near the lands that Stefan the Great and Vlad the Impaler were guarding for the King of Hungary. Vladislav attacked Saxon villages and burned them. So in 1456, Hunyadi gave Vlad the Impaler military support to invade Wallachia, and Stefan went with him. His army of Hungarians and Moldavian mercenaries, along with the Saxons whose villages had been burned, they were angry. They met Vladislav at Târgu. Vladislav II and Vlad the Impaler agreed. Having a bloody battle was not in anyone's best interest, and they settled their dispute over the throne man to man by single hand-to-hand combat, a fight to the death. Vlad Dracula killed his opponent, was victorious, and gained the throne of Wallachia. For young Stefan, this was very good news. He now had military allies in both Transylvania and Wallachia, both bordering the lost principality of his father. The next year, in 1457, Vlad gave Stefan military support to invade Moldavia. Petru Aron's army met Stefan at Dojești. The exact location is debated, but Stefan won the battle. So Petru Aron retreated to gather more supporters, and was defeated by Stefan again at Orbic. The Chronicle of Stephen the Great tells us, in the year 1457 AD, in the month of April, in the great week before Easter, Stefan Voda, the son of Bogdan Voda, came with a small army, and Aron Voda came upon them at a stream or a water called Hrajaska in Dojești. Thus Stefan Voda threw him out of the country and remained lord himself by force. Petru Aron fled to Poland, from where he would plot his revenge before traveling to Hungary later in preparation to invade Stefan's lands using the Székely to provoke a future war. But for now Stefan had retaken his father's principality. He had not forgotten about his enemy, Petru Aron, nor that it was a boyar, a nobleman, who had betrayed his father. Legend says he gathered the boyars and monks and asked them if it was well with them that he became their lord and ruled Moldavia. They agreed. I guess if you have an army, they're not going to refuse you. This was 1457, and he would rule for 47 years. But the story of his reign is the next video. Diolch yn fawr yn Patreons I. Thank you very much to my Patreons on the screen now. Your support is valuable.